Yep, on the 916 today. For a couple of reasons, really. Been missing the old girl. You know, I haven't ridden this bike much for various reasons, time being one of them, but yeah, I just haven't jumped on it lately, but today kind of feel like it's a good day for the 916. Kind of a dejected, pissed off lion today. Mostly because of shit going on with my business. And, well, I just needed a little two-wheeled therapy, so maybe I'll share a little bit of that with you folks. So, yeah, basically what's been going on is, for the last, better part of a year, like 8 months now, we've been working on this contract, or trying to put together this contract for some people to build some technology for them. Without getting into too many details, that's a big part of my business is doing technology consulting. So we build some really weird crap for some really weird people. And this group, you know, came to us, I think, in December or November of last year and said, okay, well, here's our idea, and we want to build this. And I'm like, all right, well, it's, you know, nothing I'm really passionate about, but I can see there's probably a market for it, so, okay, here's what it'll cost, and here's how long it'll take, and, you know, all right, we'll do it. And they're like, oh, well, okay, that's really, you know, a well-priced quote, and we're totally fine with that, and blah, blah, and we'll get back to you right away to, you know, get this thing in the works. I'm like, all right, well, cool, let's go build this thing. And fast forward 4 months into like early spring, and they still haven't actually executed on anything. But you know, every couple of weeks we'll ping them and just say, so we've got guys on retainer to, you know, build this thing, and we're telling them we're going to do this right away. So what's your time frame like? And they're like, oh yeah, everything's good. You know, we'll have you like a deposit right away. Blah 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 blah. You know, basically kicking the can down the road every few weeks that we talk to them. But you know, it's the kind of thing where these people are pretty obviously not all that experienced in business in general, but also in the market they want to go into. So we're cutting them some slack. We're saying, all right, fine. You know, it's decent money for us to do it, so we'll put up with some shit and so on and so forth. So this goes on and on and on and on. And eventually we say, okay, guys, seriously, what's the deal? Are we doing this or not? At which point they're like, oh, well, you know what? We'd actually like to do less of the features for half of the money that you quoted on. So basically like 2/3 of the work for half the money. And this is what you call an 11th hour renegotiation, which really didn't make us happy at all. But we said, okay, you know what? We've got resources committed to this. What the fuck ever. Let's just do it and get it done and over with. Fine. Here's your new quote for half as much as we need to actually do it properly. But if you want to cut corners, so be it. And they're like, okay, cool, yeah, we'll have you check in, you know, a couple weeks. Another 2 months of this go by, and still nothing. And we finally say, look, guys, we've been paying people to be on retainer to build this. This is costing us money. Kind of shit or get off the pot. And they're like, oh yeah, well, you see, we actually aren't going to have anything to, you know, any money to pay you until like maybe the end of this month. And by the way, we want to do it in like drifts and drabs. So we'll give you like this tiny fraction of what you need to build this, and then you can build a bunch of it, and then we'll give you some more and some more. And that's what you call fucking the pooch. Yeah, at that point, I nearly lost my shit on these people because they're clearly just not serious about what they're doing. And without getting into too many details, in the months leading up to this, you know, they're buying cars and they're, you know, on Instagram and shit, you know, and tweeting about their European vacations and shit. So clearly money is not actually a problem for these people. It's just priorities and professionalism are deeply lacking. So these bunch of idiots have pretty much fucked me, and that is what it is. I'll work for someone else who could be bothered to give a shit about their business, and life goes on. But it's a teachable moment. If you're in business yourself, or if you're thinking about starting a business, there's one pretty key element you want to keep a good eye on, and that is, don't fuck the talent. Okay, I mean, my buddy and my business partner, we spent 20 years apiece becoming really, really, really good at what we do in this particular discipline. We're in like the top probably a couple hundred people in the world for doing this shit. And generally, to do what we're doing for these people potentially, it would cost a fuckload of a lot more money and take a lot more time than we're quoting. And that's kind of, that's our party piece. We do stuff fairly, cost effectively in a really ridiculous amount of time because we have a lot of tricks that we've developed that lets us do that, and that lets us be highly competitive. So, we started off saying, okay, you know what? We get it that you're new in this, and we're going to really go out of our way to help you and give you, the full force of our experience. So we designed something for them that would have really been, world beating. It would have made them an industry leader in like 6 months, which is really unheard of for this particular industry. And we were on team, we were enthused about the project. We're like, okay, we'll give you a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and maybe we'll put some extra hours in, just off the clock, just because we want to see you succeed. And basically, we're team players. We're enthused. We're saying, okay, you're getting like the friends and family kind of treatment here. And then the first fucking bullshit comes, which is, we want to do 2/3 of the project for half the money. And at that point, we're like, okay, you know what? This is now just another stupid job to us. I don't give a shit. You're getting nothing free. It's just paying the bills, and then it's going away. And if you want anything more after that, this is the hourly rate. So a lot of our enthusiasm just went away because they had just been kicking the can and fucking around and not serious about their project. So after a while, we're just getting more and more pissed off with these people because, again, it's costing us money, it's costing us time. There are projects we've turned down because we wanted to remain available for this project. And, basically there's just, less and less interest and less giving a shit. And that's what's going to happen if you're hiring people to work for you and you just constantly fucking jerk them off and waste their fucking time. They're just going to give less and less of a shit about you, to the point that now that it's this final bullshit where it's like, this might not even happen, or if it's going to happen, it's just going to be a clusterfuck because they don't want to actually pay for anything on a reasonable schedule. Then it's like, okay, I don't even give a fuck about this. Okay, this is a vast back burner project. When I'm working on this, you're going to get, competency. You're going to get what I agreed to do. But that's it. It's going to be half-assed where it needs to be half-assed because I just don't give a fuck. It'll work. It'll meet all the check boxes. But there will be no passion. There will be no me giving a fuck about your business or, in fact, you. And that is that is what will happen when you have anyone who's working for you, who's fucking goddamn water bitch cunt. When you have anyone who is going way out of their way for you and you fuck them like that, if they still work, and if I could, I would just say, fuck you. We have no interest in doing your project. Eat a dick. But I can't do that because we turned down a lot of other projects to make room for this one, so we pretty much have to do it one way or the other. And putting someone in that situation who has been incredibly nice and accommodating to you, boy, it pisses people off. I mean, I've been pissed off at people before who I worked for, but Not quite to the extent I am right now. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a new high water mark. I don't think I've ever been as pissed off as I currently am with someone because of their fucking around and wasting my time as I am with these fucking idiots. And you know what? If you treat people like that, you're not going to be in business for long. In fact, I fully expect, even if they actually do this project with the crap they're making us build, they're going to be out of business in probably 6 months, if they're very lucky. And I will shed no tears, and I will not help them when that happens. Whereas, if they had just followed through and did what they said what they were going to do, I would do what I said I was going to do, and then some. And, you know, they would have a viable business that would all make them very, very wealthy. So, yeah. Basically, the lesson to take away from this, if you are going into business, or you are in business, is don't fuck the talent. You fuck the talent is going to resent you, and either not work for you, or worse still, just give you a really half-assed effort because you've really left them no choice. You know, you've taken all the joy out of it with your just constant fucking around. And you know, it's one thing if, you know, you just didn't get your funding or you just don't have the money or whatever, but that's not the case here. You know, they're just unprofessional little dipshits who have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Kind of like this guy when it comes to driving. So yeah, it's nice to get out on the old girl, my old friend, for a number of reasons. One of those reasons is it just makes me happy riding this bike. You know, I've ridden this bike for so long to so many places. It really is like an old friend. And, yeah, it's not the fastest or the best handling anymore, but I don't give a shit. It's my baby. It's my honey. And I love it. And, I actually bought this bike right after something really good happened for me in my life. And in many ways it reminds me of that, so it's a nice bike to get out on just to kind of, you know, stop thinking about stupidity and instead think about good things. You know, staying positive, going fast, making noise. Yep. This makes me feel better. Just getting out here, giving it some beans, getting down in the corners. Makes me happy. Makes me very, very happy. This bike really is like therapy to me. Any bike is to a point, but especially this one. It's been with me for so long. Hey, you like my channel? Well, hit the subscribe button and I'll do more silly videos like this one.